Hi, it's Paul from Model Builder International. Don't forget, use the subscribe button down there to get notified of all the future videos. Today we're going to have a look at another book from Kagero. This is one of their 3D super drawings in 3D. This one's all about the Kaga. Okay, so let's have a look inside the book. Super Drawings in 3D, this is number 31 in the series. This is an older one, so actually up to, I think it's 71 right now. This book is all about the Japanese aircraft carrier Kaga. So look inside, starts off with, I think it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pages of, basically the history of the ship, starting off with initial design as a battleship in the 20s. She's laid down as a battleship, but then with the treaties, the disarmament treaty, she was moved around and eventually she was finished as an aircraft carrier, one of the first truly large aircraft carriers. When she was built, her appearance was completely different. She actually had 3 decks, 3 flight decks when she was built. This book shows you exactly what she looked like at the Battle of Midway. So, and there's a lot of background information in here, rebuilds, the war in China. She was deployed in that several times, and then to the war in the Pacific. She was at Pearl Harbor. Then some operations after that, then some repairs after she ran aground, and then on to Midway, and quite a bit of detail about her sinking, exactly how many bombs hit her and where, and then on to the views of the ship herself. So for all of them, they're a lot like this sort of level of detail. You get a bit of information about what you're looking at a lot of the time. Describes things, sometimes you look at something and think, well, that's just a lump on the side of the ship, and it'll tell you exactly what it is. So you go through basically everything. If you're building a model of the Kaga, every sort of detail you might want to know about is here somewhere. You'll find a view of it. Goes into detail of the ship's boats towards the end of the book. Flight deck, the bow of the ship, and then it slowly starts working its way backwards with close-up views describing what you're seeing. There's the spare anchor, paravanes, and other little details like this here that you wouldn't otherwise know about. The pillars here. This middle pair, it says, was installed shortly before the war. Before that, she was after her last rebuild. She only had 2 pairs of pillars. So, and basically close-ups of the twin 12.7cm anti-aircraft guns, ship's boats, searchlight. She had 2 other searchlights that were underneath the flight deck, and they were sort of rise up from underneath the flight deck if needed. Rangefinders. It goes into, you get close-ups of everything, such as these anti-aircraft guns, ship's boats, like these boats. Generally weren't stowed, they were out. And there's the Japanese rendition of Kaga. Let's do that there is another rangefinder. One of the masts over at an angle. In the middle here we have a set of paper plans. This is a pretty big sheet of paper. I've taken photographs of this and put them on the website, linked to the websites underneath. Click on that, you'll see exactly what's here in one sort of image. It's a pretty big image as well. So 1/400th scale views of the ship, top, starboard side, different scale views of things in different places. Ship's boats, and then on the other side here, there's such things as search controllers, fire, twin mounts, power vane, searchlights, all sorts of bits and pieces on here in a variety of scales. And I'll just put that to the side for now. There's the island. It was quite a small island. They actually found that the island needed to be bigger. There wasn't enough space there for all the people who needed to be up on the deck running things. And there's another close-up with all the we call these the hammock and rope shields. There's one with all the shields removed. Close-ups of what's on top of the island. You can see there's one of the elevators. That one there is a torpedo and bomb elevator, much smaller. A windshield that rises up. And see more views of everything you need. You can see the masts over at a 45-degree angle. Main funnel pointing downwards. 8-inch guns. And coming back along the ship again. These two here, that's where there's two searchlights under there. They would appear up if needed. Then going back through again, giving you all the close-ups of all the smaller parts of the ship. Here's all the ship's boats under the very back end of the flight deck. There they all are, underneath the flight deck. There's a gantry here under the flight deck. And the very aft of the ship. Here's you can see here, but there's green lights and red lights. And it was like getting for the aircraft to get their approach angle correct, the green and red lights needed to form a line. If one set a line, if the red or green lights, if one set was above or below the other, then it meant they were too high or too low. All the aircraft on the deck ready for the 4th of June 1942. There's a description of what that marking there means, how it all breaks down, to show people exactly that this aircraft was on the Kaga, a Val, Kate, and a couple of bigger views of things, and then the very back, and then that is the end. What are we? 80 pages. I think it's 100 and something views of the ship, and then a lot more of these types of books, and another book which is actually being published now on the Kaga, giving drawings, photos. I think a more historical book than just a visual book. So all in all, if you're building a model of the Kaga, no matter which scale really, then there's some really good information in here, lots of images, things that will prove useful in you getting everything just right. I really like these 3D books. If you're building a ship, one of these is almost essential if you want to get it historically accurate. So, as I said, you can get this from Kagero's website. The link to that is underneath this video, as well as on the website article as well, where I've taken some scans of a few pages and photos of the drawings as well, and there's a bit more background there. So, many thanks to Kagero for sending it along for us to have a look at.